I don't know.
What about, I saw that you had painted a couple of dogs. Is
Oh,
that
I love
your
painting.
commission to do dogs too, or you just like to paint dogs? Or,
Well, I like to paint dogs. I prefer to paint animals. I've also painted cats, even though you maybe can see them. I like to paint animals with their owners because what you end up with is a relationship. You're painting a relationship that's usually very special to the person. I view painted portraits as a history written in paint of an experience, sometimes over days, sometimes over weeks, sometimes over months, that a portrait painter has getting to know a subject. And actually, all of the time that I spend thinking about it, and looking at it, and judging it, and talking to the client about it, ends up somewhere in the paint. It's very different than a photograph. The photograph's always, regardless of how good it is, and some photographs are wonderful, it's always this instantaneous snap of the shutter. So it includes very little time. A painting includes lots of time and changes and negotiations. And sometimes the client will say, "Can you minimize my double chin a little bit?" And that somehow ends up. I don't think that's phony. That is part of my relationship with that client. And so long as it's not a bald-faced lie, sure, my job is to find what looks best in somebody. And if they're a little concerned about that, I'm getting to understand that. If they're a little concerned about their double chin, then fine. We'll make them look as good as we can.
well, this might be a silly question, but have you ever done a self-portrait?
Not one that I really like. That's interesting because it's really hard to do a self-portrait, I think, fiction-wise. I have done a couple, and one of them is pretty good, but actually I'm superstitious enough, I've never quite finished it, because it seems to me if you finish your self-portrait, then you probably die. But anyway, so I think it's probably bad luck if you, like I have a good luck plant at home, and I really try to keep that alive, too. So I'm a little bit superstitious. But I try to be sensitive to the fact that when I'm painting people's portraits, they do have an important vested interest in it. And like everyone, we're all a little insecure about our looks or how, even the handsomest, most beautiful people in the world, you find out on the inside, they don't like their nose or they felt geeky in high school or whatever, the deal. So you have to be sensitive to all of that. Interesting that the most requests I've gotten for cosmetic rearrangement has come from middle-aged men. Like, I'm not talking about these guys specifically, but guys like this. Because what has happened is that suddenly they need a portrait and they haven't really looked at their face for 40 years except to shave it. And then suddenly they're going to be hanging in the boardroom and everybody's going to be looking at them, so they get very sensitive about how they look.
Well, I read on your blog about how you painted galleries.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to tell that story? Because I just kind of skimmed it and I was like, oh, that's so.
Sometimes there's not only a story about the painting, but a story after the painting. He's always been one of my favorite people to look at. And whether he's a good actor or not is a whole different thing. But I ended up having a chance to meet him in LA, and I asked him if I could paint him. He was in the middle of filming a movie, and he politely said no. But I knew his 40th birthday was coming up, so I thought I'd just see if I could do a painting as a gift. And so I downloaded lots of photographs from the internet and came up with this kind of iconic original. It doesn't look like any photograph I've ever seen. It looks like Keanu Reeves is painting of him. Anyway, long story short, I arranged with the folks at his agency, Creative Artists Agency, to get the painting to him, or they said they would. Since after we went through the motions of getting the painting boxed and graded and supposedly sent to him, I never got any kind of thank you. I never got any it struck me, I didn't want him to say, oh, how wonderful you, you're the best person in the world. I just wanted to know that he got it, and it seemed to me that it was unlike him in some ways to not respond at all. Well, a couple of years later, I let go of it for a while, but I ran into him by accident again, and I said, did you ever get that painting I sent you? Well, I could tell by the look on his face he had no idea what I was talking about. So I ended up getting my lawyer to investigate and found out that evidently, and I don't really know the true story, but evidently somebody at CAA really liked that painting, and it never got to him. It's been hanging for 2.5 years in an office at Creative Artists Agency, and at first they denied having it, and my lawyer said, we're going to take you to court and force you to account for its whereabouts and prove that you sent it to him since you say you did. And suddenly, it miraculously, we have located the painting, the letter from my lawyer said. So they asked me whether I would prefer that they delivered it to Mr. Reeves or give it back to me. And I said, I don't trust you to deliver it at all. I'll take it back. So I have it.
You have it still?
I have it.
It hasn't gotten to him.
It's never gotten to him. But maybe someday. 2006. 4 years ago.
Wow. Are you going to give it to him one day?
I have a feeling that, I don't know whether he'll end up making a movie in Richmond or whether I have a feeling it will get to him sometime. He'll probably be a very old man and look at this painting of him as a young person and say, oh, I really like that. So who knows? I don't know. But anyway.
So what are some of your biggest challenges in painting and the art industry and anything?
It's really just getting paying business. Because, this year has not been a great year. I'm not recession-proof. You don't get work for a lot of reasons. Sometimes they choose another artist. Occasionally I will know of an opportunity and I will send my portfolio in and they will hire someone else to do it for, could be any number of reasons. Sometimes it's because the other artist by marriage knows the chairman of the board of the company that's painting the painting, and so he gets it through kind of that way. Sometimes it's that they like his style better than my style. So this has not been a great year. Always trying to plant the seed that a painted portrait is an option, because a lot of people don't think of it. It's, I'll find myself in the middle of a conversation and someone will say, I have no idea what to give Sally for Valentine's Day. And I say, have you ever considered having her portrait painted? Maybe her and the kids. I've never even thought of it. It's a wonderful idea. So sometimes I have to plant my own idea. That's what I expect an agent or a gallery to do also, is to, when they hear a possible opportunity, plant the seed. But it's always a struggle.
So that's the hardest part about being an artist.
Well, you have to be an entrepreneur and you have to be willing to promote yourself in a way that's not always comfortable. I don't feel very comfortable saying, hey, I'm the best artist in the world, you should hire me, and keep it, pass it down to your grandchildren, it'll be worth $1 million. That's silly. I think I just try, and that's the advantage of a city the size of Richmond, is it is small enough that you can create a presence, and word of mouth can work for you. I spent almost 10 years living in Los Angeles, but just because I wanted to live there. And it's horribly difficult to negotiate a city that big. Because someone can have heard of you in your neighborhood and the rest of Los Angeles and nobody. And if you're not making movies in LA, you're always in LA. So and also I found, I guess I knew it, but I didn't believe it. Well, LA is not a portrait painting town, it's a camera town. It's a photographer's town. It makes sense. LA grew up with the movies, it grew up with the headshot and all of that. And UCLA doesn't have its presidents painted.
I'm never yet.
Yeah, no. You go in a courtroom here in Richmond or Virginia,